I heard the leadership of the Democratic Labour Party today calling for tougher measures. The clear implication is that they would like us to go back into lockdown. My question is, where is the scientific basis for this call at this time? We went into lockdown last year, and when lockdown was one of the only options that we had then. Today, in Barbados and across the world, we have a tested and proven weapon in the form of the COVID vaccine that too many Barbadians are reluctant, I'm afraid, or refusing to take. We have many people wearing masks as they would wear necklaces, and no matter how much we plead, they're still bunching up in shops and workplaces as if social distancing is no longer a consideration. It is. The Democratic Labour Party would be better off joining in the struggle to get more Barbadians vaccinated. And therefore, we would all be better placed to combat COVID rather than proposing measures that are likely to bring greater hardship and sufferation to those who can least carry that extra burden. When we lock the country down, as they are proposing, the haves in Barbados will stock up and live comfortably for the 2 to 3 week period, while the have-nots will suffer and, as we say in Barbados, suck salt. That is why we had to give out packages to over 85,000 households previously. Does the Democratic Labour Party understand the social and economic implications of a lockdown at this time? Do they understand that that could trigger a withdrawal of international flights for possibly the rest of the year? Do they understand the impact that this would have on Barbados and Barbadians, let alone the economy? Locking the country down is and will not be the first, second, or third option of this Barbados Labour Party government. I want to make that very clear. We do not take the matter of shutting this country down lightly. This is not a knee-jerk manner in which we govern. And if my ministers and I have to take to the streets of Barbados and go door to door to get Barbadians fully sensitized of the need to protect themselves against the spread of COVID, particularly with the prevalence of the Delta variant, then that is what we shall do. I also do not understand what is this call for us to say whether there is community spread of COVID in Barbados or not. Where has the leadership of the Democratic Labour Party been living? In which country in the Caribbean, or indeed the hemisphere, isn't there community spread of COVID right now? These politically inspired and instigated soundbites need to stop. There are 287,000 of us living on this island, and we each need to play our part in containing the spread of COVID. To date, more than 117,000 residents have taken the vaccine. That is not enough. The percentage cannot protect us, not that percentage. We are somewhere around 43% of our total population who have had at least one dose of the vaccine. And, to put it another way, in terms of the adult Barbadian population, 1 in every 2 adult Bajans. But we need to take that higher before we can begin to breathe easier as a nation. The government has done all that it can reasonably be expected to do, and we are going over and beyond to minimize the impact of the fallout from the spread of this virus on the backs of those who can least bear the burden. We have in this country 3 approved vaccines, people, that are tried, that are tested and proven to stem and contain the spread and the impact of the virus on residents. They will reduce the number of deaths to almost 0 if you are vaccinated, and they will reduce the level of serious hospitalization. We've set it out clearly. Also, the practices and behaviors that must be employed to mitigate against the spread of this disease. In the last month alone, the government has spent in excess of $48 million between shoring up existing facilities, purchasing new equipment, employing more people in an attempt to adequately manage the threat of the spread of the virus and all of the consequences that it places for the social and economic well-being of the nation. And we're still having to spend. But none of this will succeed or be effective if people refuse to use logic, reason and common sense. And that is why we continue to have the conversations with as many people as possible, including this Democratic Labour Party. So I ask them, please, stop politicking and get on board the national crusade to save lives and to uphold the standard of living to which Barbadians have become accustomed. Believe you me, there will be a time for partisan politics, But right now, what we need is national leadership. We need social partners, such as the political parties, to do and say what is right, what makes sense, and what is in the national interest. We have very, very little room for distraction or confusion in this country now. It is a luxury that Barbados simply cannot afford at this moment. Shutting the country down for a day, for a week, or longer is not an option that we are willing to consider right now. And I've said before recently, we cannot sprint a marathon. So the Democratic Labour Party can continue with its ill-conceived formula, or, as I hope and pray, it will come constructively to the table, as we have invited them into meetings on COVID at the Social Partnership. And once they do so, let us work together, my friends, as one people, to battle our way as a nation out of this crisis that, I remind you, is being experienced by every other country on Mother Earth at this present moment. As I would say, let us apply our hearts to wisdom in these matters. Thank you.